Hey guys, and welcome back to another Star Citizen video. I'm Illusion like usual, and we're going to be talking today about a widely discussed topic and a big source of confusion, and that's the hard points on the ships. Now, I think the source of the confusion is a bad labeling system and a poor choice of words when we're talking about the hard points. So, when you hear a class of a hard point, it's actually referring to two separate things. You have the actual size of it, and you actually have the size of the weapon or size of the equipment, and you actually have the hard point itself. So let me break it down for you. So when you hear a class 1 weapon, what that means is it's a fixed standard forward-facing weapon, like the front nose gun of my Avenger here. This is a class 1 weapon. Again, on the wingtips right here, these are forward-facing, non-moving weapons, so they are designated a Class 1. Class 2 is a articulated weapon that's a little bit smaller usually, but you have a little bit of an arc on movement. Now, example of this is think of the side guns on a Freelancer or the bigger side-mounted guns on a Constellation. So that's a Class 2. A Class 3 hardpoint is a pod, like you see here in front of me. This Avenger happens to be a drop tank, but you can also think about this as for a radar, an additional ammo pod, a missile rack, anything of like that sort. So that's a Class 3. A Class 4 is a turret, but it's similar to a Class 1 fixed mount. I don't see a whole lot of Class 4, so we're not going to basically spend too much time on a Class 4, and we'll jump right to Class 5. A Class 5 is a manned point defense turret, and it's found on larger ships and capital ships. So this is the manned turret that you'll find on like a Constellation, for instance. A Class 6 is also a heavy manned capital ship used for ship-to-ship combat. And yes, I am reading from the Wikipedia. 7 is a spinal mount laser that hits hard, and it's effective against medium and large ships. Again, you're going to find that on, I think you're going to find that on like larger capital ships. Class 8 is a capital ship cannon. Also, I've heard some people talking about that there's also going to be a Class 9 and a Class 10. So when we talk about class, that's actually just referring to the actual mounting point from the ship. Now the other side is a size, but they still call it a class. So I think they should change the verbiage to class to refer to the actual mounting point, and then size to determine how large it is. So for instance, this front forward-facing cannon is a Class 1 hardpoint, meaning it's fixed and forward-facing, but it's actually a size 5. And they rank from 1 to 5, 1 being the weakest and 5 being the strongest. At least that's the scale we have right now. So even though this is a Class 1, it's a size 5 turret. So in the older documentation right now, they would call this either a Class 1 or a Class 5. So people will be confused, well, how is it a 5 if it's a 1, or how is it a 1 if it's a 5? So I think they should change the documentation to call it a size when referring to. For comparison, this is still a Class 1 hardpoint, but in my own documentation and some documentation or verbiage of other people, this is a size 2 fixed gun. So you can see the difference between those two. So that's kind of a comparison between a size and the actual mounting point, or the hardpoint mounting to the ship. So that's your quick under 5-minute explanation of the different hardpoints and using the systems on the ships. So if you're new to my channel, stick around. I got some other things going on, and I'll see you guys on the next video.